I just gotta ask.
What do you want to ask?
I understand what he's referencing. I understand that he's a flipper and that he's selling lots of drugs. Good for him, and that's commonly referred to as bread. But when Project Pat says the lines, "I'm a flipper, getting bread. I'm a gymnast, not a gymnast, a gymnast." So my question for Project Pat is, one, what is a gymnast? Number two, why'd you call it a gymnast? Because it did not even rhyme. Number three, I understand the fact that you're flipping lots of drugs. Congratulations, Project Pat. I'm glad you're doing your thing still. Great job. I'm sure you're on top of your game. But, Noud, I was just hoping you could give me a little explanation. Maybe this is the light inside me that I don't understand. How can you help? Can you help me out? Can you give me some?
I forgot the actual name of it, but it's like there's certain words that mean two different things. So like seal and seal, like seal an envelope and seal the animal. So
Sure.
a gymnast and a gymnast.
No, you're making some excuses.
I'm making excuses for my man because
it's hard
listen to
it.
Huh?
Get money for the rent. It's hard out here for a pimp trying to get money for the rent. We understood he won an Oscar.
I just wanted to see you're taking a line out of a song that if we listen to that song 12 million times, you're the only person who would be like a gymnast, and that's not how you say it. And I'm just like, well, Joey, he is a successful rapper now, so it's
now, Project Pat's been a successful rapper for 3 decades. That's not what I'm questioning.
3 decades. Let's pump the brakes here. Let's pump the brake. 3 decades.
I'm sorry, he wasn't successful. 3-6 Mafia wasn't successful in the early 2000s.
Is that more him or is that more of the group itself?
See, this is why we haven't gotten called for a guest appearance.
Let's be honest.
Because of these type of comments right
were
here.
Successful, but who were the two most successful ones? Quavo, Offset, and then Takeoff he's just bullshitting.
Wow, so you're calling Project Pat. Not only are you comparing 3-6 Mafia to 3 Migos, which I don't think you should do at all.
I'm not comparing.
You just kind of did. You just said that.
I'm using examples.
You just said Project Pat is the Offset of 3 Migos. Was that not your comparison?
You're splitting hairs now. We're splitting hairs in places that we shouldn't split in. This is a football podcast, not a music podcast. I'll leave you to the hip hop gurus over there. I don't give a fuck.
Then let's get into, Shonen Tapes, call me whenever you're ready. Then let's get into splitting hairs with over getting the COVID vaccine or not. Are you ready? Let's get it started.
So, relax there, Sporty Spice. This is Face of the Franchise. I am your host, Michael, the Pharaoh Shanuti, and always to my front is my co-host, Little Joey Dorian. And this is the Face of the Franchise podcast. And like Joey alluded to, we are going to talk about people who think the vaccine is. All right, listen. When I first heard this news, let's just paint a picture. If you took the name
backstory for the people,
if you took the name out, if you took his name out, who we're talking about, and says this person said these things, I am immune. Some of my teammates don't want to get the vaccine. That's their choice. Blah blah blah. And then the next story, he asked for alternative ways to play football without taking the vaccine and alternative ways to get me on the field and blah blah blah. I would have 2 guesses.
Yeah.
One,
Ben Roethlisberger.
No, Cole.
Come on, be fair.
Cole Beasley. No, Ben Roethlisberger wants the vaccine for one thing and one thing only. He wants to go to cheeseburger places without worrying. He wants to wear no mask.
He wants to be able to go in women's bathrooms without
He wants to go to church because he's a God-fearing man now, whatever. It'd be Cole Beasley, which Cole Beasley wouldn't even try to get an alternative to the vaccine, and Aaron Rodgers. Who we're talking about today. How he's
still in the league, I understand he gets targets. I understand he's a good receiver. I understand he's good at route running. But I also understand, he's got to be the worst teammate. Not even for the fact that he doesn't want to get vaccines.
You said it.
You don't even have to get into, but he just seems a terrible human.
This is America. You get to choose if you want to live or die. Remember that.
For the mere fact he should not be in the league when he stepped in the booth and thought it would be okay, that he spit and continued to try
freedom of speech.
To rap microphone, that's when he should have been removed from the league.
Free-
Any
freedom
other
of
opinions
speech,
stay
man.
aside,
And
take it for what you will.
I could put a rap
Not too
album
either, but
on Spotify today. Be the worst shit in the world, and nobody would blink an eye. Because guess what? That's America. We don't have to worry about shit. And in America, Aaron Rodgers says he's immune. Somehow he's immune to the disease that is, I don't know, affecting the entire world. Thinking he can go up to the NFLPA saying, "I want an alternative to the vaccine," which they've been working on this vaccine for how long now? In 20-something countries was working on figuring this out. No, Aaron Rodgers wants to be different. He wants to do different things. He doesn't want to be the guy that says, "I don't want the vaccine, but I want the in between the vaccine and non-vaccine. I just want to be in between. I just want to play devil's advocate. I just want to be like I just want to be a hipster with my hipster girlfriend who played a Divergent and all those stupid
I'm the
movies.
anti-cool guy, and that makes me the cool guy.
Most
And
taxing
listen,
in the world.
whatever the perspective is, just because you're really good at football and you're one of the most well-known people in the world, and I don't know if that's what exact his mindset is, means that you're also henceforth and for that fact of being one of the most known people in the world and throwing the football real good, that you must be immune to COVID. Listen, nobody's immune to COVID at all, period. Whether you get vaccine, there's still reports that people are getting Delta variants. If you get a booster, there's still a chance that you could get exposed. Yes, these are safety precautions that I think are necessary to take. In my personal opinion, take that what you will. Roll me over the coals. I do think that it's necessary to continue to keeping us safe. With all that being said, just to simply say that you can't get it because you're Aaron Rodgers and you think you're above all of it or whatever the case may be is definitely a little disheartening. Definitely for a guy that I think we've all fallen in love with if you hated him a little bit in the past year or so with Pat McAfee Tuesdays. Fair to say, right?
Fair to say.
And now it looks like we're slowly but surely going down the I think I'm better than the rest. No contest. Don't take me responsible for my actions. There's no judgment. And listen, let's also give a little love to Shailene Woodley. You shouldn't be getting right over the coals that you are. We don't know what your vaccination status is, and you're a sweet,
no. Listen, the
great
only
actress.
The only reason why I bring her up is because
I brought her up.
No. I said it. I said like my girlfriend, the wife. It's
fair.
Like the Divergent.
Yeah.
Her reasoning. I think she's a hipster. I think she might be the biggest like Hollywood person that isn't a Hollywood person in Hollywood, if that makes sense. Like
1,000%.
She's the person who's like, "Oh, come to my house where I don't have air conditioned because we just live by the nature, and nature dictates what my temperature in the house
She's
is."
lighting the essence candles.
Yes.
She's spraying off of the spirit sticks.
That she said she only knew Aaron Rodgers from Jeopardy is asinine. Like you're just playing. You're the biggest liar of all time.
Is that a quote?
That is a definite. She's like, I did not know he played football.
I do remember her saying that. Were they already together once he did the Jeopardy hosting?
Aaron Rodgers, huh?
Weren't they already together once he did the Jeopardy hosting? Weren't they already engaged?
Like,
I just want to make sure we're factual on our timeline here, buddy.
I think the timeline is he did it one time. They were dating, and she said like she knew he was famous, but she didn't know it was because of football. And this is the same guy who does State Farm commercials. There's two other commercials that could lead you to believe this motherfucker does what he does.
So she knew sports, but didn't know what sports are exactly what he does.
I think she didn't say sports. She knew he was famous. So it could have been anything. She couldn't think she was dating Brad Pitt.
So with all that being said, right, according to her, it could have been just he was in a great couple of movies with Brad, starting a Quentin movie. She did not know. With all that aside, there's clearly like the I'm one with the spirits and nature kind of vibe from her. Hate that she's getting raked over the coals because she has a great talent, but definitely some Hollywood vibes. In terms of listen, man, to me, it's pretty easy, and I know there's some people that step out against this or not for this, but to me, it's very easy just to get vaccinated, and then you can go ahead and play football. We don't go through all this, but instead, now your whole wide receiver core has COVID. You now have COVID. I don't understand that from a common sense and a logical point. Even if you're against it. My whole point with anybody that is against it, with all due respect to whatever you believe or your wishes, at least do it for the people that have more of a low immunity, that are very susceptible to it, that have certain conditions that amplify COVID, that make them more perpetual to it, that make them more exposed to it. I think it's a pretty easy fix, but
I think we beat a dead horse with this in the sense of players are going to choose what they want to choose. Really, what it is Aaron Rodgers lied. I mean, at the end of it, that's the biggest thing. I don't know if he lied. I think he did the whole.
Well,
I didn't
he's not immune to COVID, so what would you call that?
Yeah,
and then saying you're immune to COVID.
You're not immune. I don't know how to explain it. He danced around the truth. Would be the best way to say it. Danced around the truth.
What would you call that?
That's not lying. I mean, a lie is straight up, I got the vaccine. And when somebody asked.
You're talking about a black and white concrete lie, but just because the lie does a dance doesn't mean it's not a lie.
I mean, Jesus. Like, listen, he's going to get suspended. That's my take. He's going to get suspended for saying things that is not
like saying, "Oh, I lost 5 pounds. I'm not fat anymore." Like, no, I'm still pretty thick. I'm still pretty thick.
I mean, we could cookie cut this anyway. I think he gets suspended. I think he gets suspended 5 games after this.
What do you think? Does this permanent damage on the reputation, or does he come back out of this?
It's Aaron Rodgers. Anything.
We won't have to get into this too much, but who rises back faster from the ashes? Rodgers or Portnoy? Rodgers or Portnoy? Who rises back from the ashes faster?
Rodgers wins the Super Bowl in whatever team he does this year, next, whatever. Everything's forgotten. Don't forget, Ray Lewis killed a guy, won a Super Bowl. He found
Christ. It's fine.
Again, Aaron Rodgers could find Christ. Bet you Shane Woodley or whatever.
Talk to Ben. Talk to Ray Lewis. Talk to Ray Rice. You're going to be all right. Ray Rice
did not find God. Ray Rice had a video. You can't find God after that video.
He still tried to have a whole documentary come out. He got his wife saying he's all good.
God will not claim you after that. God will not claim you after that video.
Rape and murder, though, that's fine. Rape and murder that's not in a video, that's fine.
Speaking, this is a bad transition, but speaking of transitions,
found Christ, that's
fine. Speaking of murder.
God. What he does.
This is not funny. This is not funny. Let me stop. Because people are going to take this bad. All right.
Rinsing and turning off the pod, starting now.
I'm laughing because we need to figure out better ways to transition.
It was a rough transition. That's the only reason we're laughing. It's a very dark subject matter, and our heart does go out to the woman and the dog that did pass from this situation.
That's fucked up. No,
I'll go ahead and go, Noud.
Go ahead, yeah, because I'm gonna say my piece, and then that's it. Because I don't want to talk about this anymore. You go first. Get it all out.
First of all, what the fuck is going on in the NFL this week? It just seems like bomb after bomb. We're going to get into some of the mental health issues. I will bring up some points when we get to another player with Ruggs. But was essentially, if you haven't already heard, was going 156 miles per hour with a loaded vehicle. Blood alcohol content was double what it should be in the state of Nevada. In turn, he crashed and brutally killed a woman and a dog. There were several other injuries in this crash. The only comment I really have to say on it is you're 23 years old in Vegas with $1 million of net worth at your exposure already, with paychecks coming in of 6 figures every week. This just brings up the conversation again that we've talked about before on this show, that 30 for 30s beat over the head, that you name a sports show or sports analyst and they beat this over the head. But that, especially when they're at that young age, athletes are paid way too much, in my personal opinion. And that causes them not to know how to properly spend that money. So that's why you have documentaries like Broke or 30 for 30s like Broke come out, where 75% of the players are broke, or they get into things like this and people wonder why we have, a domestic violence or a DUI scandal every other year or every single year seemingly in the NFL. It's really, really sad and tragic. And my heart goes out again to the family for the loss of their daughter and the dog.
Listen, okay. You basically nailed the hit. All right. Reason why I'm lost for words is because, Joey, you and I are not rich. We're not successful. We're
No.
pretty good, and like we have money. We
Yeah,
have
speaking
things.
of hitting the nail on the head, yeah.
Yeah. We take Ubers. We do these things. We are smart enough to do this. Now, are there times, and I hand up to God, I've been tipsy, shouldn't have been driving, I've driven, but I'm not going 156 miles per hour because that is legit. You're turning your car into a weapon. All right. If you're a reckless person, if you're drunk, if you're anything, do not drink and drive. Do take an Uber. Take a fucking minute to think. Like, am I doing the correct thing? Like, I have the wherewithal to know that I shouldn't go 156 miles an hour. If anything, I'm going under the speed limit because I feel scared. Like, I maybe not, and like I'm not drunk. I'm not in the right mindset of like, am I sober?
If I'm
I
ever
would say
driving stoned or drunk, you better believe I'm going the speed limit
I
just
am going
because I'm
in a lane where
so
I'm not
paranoid.
near any other cars. I am 40. I will even pay for the Greenway for all those people in Virginia. If you know what the Greenway is, it's very expensive. Not a lot of cars go on it. Right? I
I
will
do
pay
too.
for it
I do too.
just to do that.
Yeah.
And hell of a shit. Like legit, like you cannot think of another way to hurt a person than drinking and then going 156 miles per hour, destroying. Like he's so lucky that he didn't die because the engine was in the back. How the car is designed, the engine is in the back in the trunk, not in the front. So when he hit her head first, nothing really got fucked up in his car, but him, he got injuries and stuff like that. A lot of people are saying, I mean, Derek Carr is being a good teammate. A lot of people are being good people, saying like we need to show him love, we need to show him that. Fuck all that. Fuck all that. I'm sorry. I'm not his teammate. I'm not anywhere near Henry Ruggs. He's not on my fantasy team. He's not on anything. That's just a joke, whatever. Please don't use it against me. Point is, the dude killed a person, went 156 miles an hour in Las Vegas, where you're a rich person. You are well off. You are fucking well off. So you can get an Uber. You could get a driver. If you are, he's a good player, right? I bet you if you went to a fan in the bar, be like, "Hey, I'm Henry Ruggs. Here's $100. You won't mind taking me home?" No fan would say no.
Oh, in a heartbeat. In a
You
heartbeat.
wouldn't
How
say
excited
no.
would we be at the bar? I call immediately.
I
Nudie,
just to make
Nudie.
sure my favorite player doesn't get if even fat fuck Ben Roethlisberger comes up to me
Said,
and
hey,
says,
comes out of the woman's bathroom. You clearly saw he came out of the woman's bathroom and says, sorry. I just want to set that up. So he clearly came out of let's be clear. Clearly came out of the woman's bathroom. Right. So you're going to panic mode.
No, if he's coming out of the woman's bathroom, I might have to take him somewhere else other than his house. But if he's clearly coming to have dinner with his wife and both of them are drunk, they say, can you take me home? Why no heartbeat? My point is that was a stupid mistake. It's a deadly mistake, and it's like that. If you think there's a problem, there's gonna be a problem. Like that all the time.
Yeah, no, I think you nailed it on the head. A good addition to that point is when you go ahead and you'd like to think, and like you're kind of basically what you're alluding to is you'd like to think that they have the wherewithal and the thought process. Hey, let me order an Uber, especially because I'm a fucking millionaire, right? Let me go ahead and let's call. Oh, I know Derek goes to bed in 30 minutes, but let me see if Carl will come pick me up from the bar real quick. Let me go see if da 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 da. There's a lot of things you like to think that I think it had a lot to do with his age as well, as I already mentioned, and with a combination of the fact that, I mean, let's be honest, how many of our friends, when we were 18 to 25, do you know, for a fact, drove home very, very drunk?
All the time. I mean,
The
it
list
takes.
is endless.
I
And
mean,
you add
I
that,
hate
you
to
add
say it.
money, you add a lot of power, and it's a kettle can full of gasoline.
It's not. I mean, it's a situation where you look at and you're just like, the cop stops me. It's actually a good thing, and that's. I hate to say it like that, but it's true. And it's like, I mean, I mean, like I said, I wanted to be my piece on this one. Like, he's going to go to jail 2 to 20 years. Hopefully it's 20 years. I hate to say it like that, but he did kill a person. We can't let these guys get off because they could hit a baseball, throw a football, catch a football, basketball. We need to stop glorifying athletes when they do shit like this, because like there is a guy out there, may or may not have killed his girlfriend and a waiter, and he's running around fucking wild. So let's not. I mean, that's a different topic for a different day.
He found Christ.
Yeah. So,
and listen, the final point, man, you're exactly right. I mean, by no means, by me saying, oh, he was young and dumb is a carefree excuse. I came out and started my piece with this, that he's getting paid, that I think athletes in general, especially when the first 3 years in the league, are getting paid way, way too much. I also think that with all those things, is there certain points where you could address this in the locker room, where you could have, another player have a conversation, or you could have had a team therapist have a conversation. And that kind of leads me to our next topic, Noud, which is this something that needs to happen in the NFL where they address the mental health day-to-day a whole lot more? Yes, we glorify it. Yes, we pay them way too much. But it also is a very high-stress job. It is a 24/7 job. It is a job with a lot of pressure and a lot of attention on it that I think definitely has proven has its mental effects, alongside with the mental effects that football as a sport has as a whole. And now we see Calvin Ridley this past week saying that he needs to take some time to focus on the mental health. So my question kind of this topic for you, Noud, is, does this need to be more addressed in the league? And if so, how would you do it?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like, let's be honest. They have one of the toughest jobs. When you don't perform, a lot of people are at your neck. Due to fantasy, due to fan bases, stuff like that. Football players are human. I know that sounds bad now because we just talked about Henry Ruggs, but they need to be treated as humans.
We need to be reminded of that, because celebrities or football players or sports players in general are all put on pedestals.
Exactly. So we just got to remember, like, if you kill a person, you're going to jail. If you have mental health issues, you have mental health issues. You shouldn't be shamed for it. Lane Johnson from the Eagles took his time, came back. He said it was exactly what he needed. Brandon Brooks, same thing. Eagles did the same thing. Calvin Ridley really needs to figure it out. I mean, he missed 2 games out of 3. And he if there is something wrong mentally, he needs to take care of it. If it's big enough for him to say, hey, as much as I'm getting paid, as much as I'm doing all these things, I really need to focus on me. To all the people who are like, oh, fantasy, oh, this, oh, that. I mean, like, dude, he's going to come back a better player. I mean, he wasn't performing, so you need to think of it that way. I think he comes back in 2 weeks. I think he's fine. I think he gets the therapy he needs. He gets the things he needs. He focuses on what he needs to focus on. And I'm very happy NFL players, basketball players, baseball players are all saying it, because to little kids, those are their heroes. When I was a kid, Dwayne Wade, Troy Polamalu, Cal Ripken were my favorite players. And if they came out and they said they had mental health issues, you start thinking about yourself. You're like, do I have depression? Do I have anxiety? Do I have this? Do I have that? Like, you need to
because you look inward at it. And I think some people that started to interject with you there, but I think some people that aren't as comfortable with it will reject it. And that's when you kind of get these. I mean, Twitter's going to be Twitter. Tweet's going to tweet as twat does. But I mean, with all that aside too, there is still this stigma to this day. I think it's gotten a lot more light than it used to, especially when we were coming up as kids with our certain athletes, where they may have gotten a lot more scrutiny. But I think you make an excellent point where it does, when your heroes, when you're the guys that you've looked up to your whole entire life, come out and say, hey, this is the issue I'm dealing with. It makes you, I think, if you're truly a fan of them, or just in general, maybe if you're an outside fan, look at it and go, hey, I need to look at myself. This was extremely helpful. This guy that I look up to that I thought was, perfect, or this gal that I look up to that I thought was perfect, turns out they got, what I'm going through too. That makes them that much more relatable. That makes you able to address your concerns and comfortable going on with you. I think it's a huge, huge thing when athletes come out and say this, especially someone that I don't know if you've been able to tell listeners, and Michael for the Farah someone that deals with a slew of mental health issues for his whole entire life, that I really, really think that
I wouldn't
it's
say slew.
stop naming
I
these
would
stigmatized. You don't
say-
need to ram these people over on Twitter. You don't need to make Ben Simmons crawl into a hole and basically not even want to show up to practice anymore.
All right. Let's.
That's maybe
all
a little
right. I
different.
know I'm not a
situation, but
basketball. I know we're not a basketball podcast, but Ben Simmons is. All right, that's a different fucking story. I don't want to get into it.
Sometimes it's a case of some people just don't want to play.
Some are being pussies. Like, that's being a pussy. Like, you're not. That's not mental health. You're being a pussy.
I don't want to put the work ethic in anymore.
You're using mental health as a problem, as a crutch, and that's not good. All right.
I agree. Ben Simmons is a different case, but you get where I'm going, right?
Yes,
I think it's when these athletes show themselves, it helps their fans, it helps everybody around them, and for that little corner in the Twitter twatterlands that's giving them grief for this, that's still allowing this to continue to be stigmatized like it is, shut the fuck up. Let them reset themselves. Nobody cares about your fantasy team lineup too, especially if you're
getting millions of dollars to play football. How can you be fucking upset? You could be upset, dude. They go to work as much as everybody else does. They do as much as everybody else does. Yeah, and they get publicized for it. Like, when you do a bad job at work, only people who know are the people in your area and who you want to tell. When football players do bad, everybody and their fucking mother knows about it. And so it's taxing. So
you think Jim Carrey's had a Mary Go Happy Days nonstop? You don't think he has mental? You think Daniel Day-Lewis is just a picture of perfect mental health because he has a shit ton of money?
Let's be honest.
You don't think Jeff Bezos has a slew of mental issues?
We know Jim Carrey has mental health issues. He's talked about it. I mean,
we've
seen it.
Exactly.
Let's Jim Carrey.
Point being, the rich can have mental health issues too.
Exactly. So, with that being said, the richer gets richer during the fucking trade deadline. We're going straight into it.
The All-Star team continues to grow, baby.
So, the Rams lead the league in sacks. Have Aaron Donald, probably the most decorated defensive player since Reggie White. And you could also say that Jalen Ramsey is probably the best shutdown corner we've seen since Deion Sanders. Now, to add all to this, they get Von Miller, the guy who leads the league in sacks since he has entered the league in 2014. What the fuck is going on? Like, what the fuck is going on?
They're the Yankees of the NFL. Come on. You know what's going on.
I think here's the situation.
They're the Lakers of the NFL. Pick your power team. Pick your All-Star team.
It's not even like the Lakers. Like, the Lakers went and got
They're the Real Madrid of the championship league. Did I say that right, guys?
I think you did, but I think really what I saw here was like the Lakers went and got geriatric fucks. They got Carmelo Anthony, Dwight Howard, blah, blah, blah. They're old. They got Matthew Stafford, a quarterback who I've always said, if he's in the right situation, he's going to be great. Right now, he's in the MVP conversation. Like I said,
that was a Noud and Joe on the same page from day one. Yeah.
Cooper Kupp looks like the best wide receiver in football.
Shout out his breakfast buddy.
Darrell Henderson came in for Cam Akers, looks great. The defense looks great.
What is he, a top 5 back in fantasy right now?
He is at least an RB1, RB2, like a high end RB2, low end.
I think he's our solidified RB1 at this point.
I mean, it doesn't even matter. The offense is crazy. The defense is crazy. Let's add Von Miller, the guy who's led the league in sacks since he's entered the league. Like, I mean, obviously, like, this was probably a situation where Denver's like, we're rebuilding. You're getting older. We want to give you the opportunity to win a ring. Where's the opportunity? Let's send you to LA, a nice area.
Win one more ring.
And he's going to go to play with Aaron Donald, Leonard Floyd, Jalen Ramsey, like a great defense, a great coach in Sean McVay. I mean, it's hard not to pick the Rams to win the Super Bowl at this point. I mean, there's still the Cowboys looking good. I hate to say it. Bucks looking good. Packers.
I don't know what you mean by Cowboys looking good, but yeah.
I mean, you hate to say it, but you say it. And then you have on it. I mean, like, I think the winner comes out of the NFC.
I guess Cooper Rush is a good quarterback now. We can just rely on quarterbacks that are constantly out and have cash issues and shoulder issues and whatever else is going on with him.
Is this how I sound with Lamar? Because I actually go after Lamar. I don't go after Cooper Rush. You can go after Dak all you want.
I go after Cooper Rush. I was insulting Dak by telling him he was always hurt. I did not insult Coop. There's maybe a slight jab at Coop. There's like
I'm just
the frog, the prodding was mostly focused on one man, and his
But
name's Dak Prescott.
I put the Rams as the favorite to win the Super Bowl, but they won't win that. They'll be the second seed in the NFC somehow, and that's what's going to make them win the Super Bowl because they won't have that bye to fuck them up. I think the bye fucks up.
Noud's early Super Bowl prediction.
I mean, it's not even. I had them as a Super Bowl contender, and then everything in the AFC is falling to shit. I don't know who to pick for the AFC to win the AFC. Bills, Titans, Ravens, Steelers, all of them look like shit.
Might be the Jets. NFC. Let's go, Mike White, Dark Horse MVP.
Hey,
the Davis Mills of Week 8. The Davis Mills of Week 8, baby.
But yeah, I mean that's the biggest story. I mean Melvin Ingram goes back to the Saints.
Mills, excuse me.
Sorry, Mark Ingram went to the Saints. Melvin Ingram for the Steelers went to the Chiefs for a 6th. Just to give everybody's reaction to it, it was fine by me.
Who gives a shit trades at the deadline now?
It was really for me. It was like he didn't want to be there. He was on a 1-year deal. We traded him away. Highsmith was getting all the playing time, looked great. So who cares?
Who gives a bird turd?
Exactly. Who else got traded? Some like random corners, random DNs. I think those were the 3 biggest ones. I think Von Miller was the biggest splash. Everybody thought we were going to see like Brandon Cooks. We were going to see Evan Ingram. We were going to see Deshaun Jackson, who got cut by the Rams, and he can pick whatever team he wants now. He's probably going to go to the Packers.
Somewhat big was 49ers acquired Charles Mnuhu, if you're a fan of Charles, from the Texans in exchange for a 2026 round pick for that 49ers defense.
Exactly. So there you go. And then
and we did not mention this 2 weeks ago, but of course, elite quarterback is back in the league. We apologize for not mentioning it. The Jets have 3 elite quarterbacks now on the roster, probably best quarterback roster in the league, and Joe Flacco, Zach Wilson, even though he's hurt, he's going to come back, baby. And of course, Mike White, the Davis Mills of Week 8.
So there you go. That's the trade deadline in a heartbeat. Von Miller just made the Rams a Super Bowl contender, that more than they already were. But now, Joe, clear my schedule.
Hold on, let's say, okay. Pretend that Deshaun Watson never had those accusations, and the Steelers got him cleared. Look back at Mean Joe Green highlights, cleared. Right, hit up Jerome Bettis again. See if he'll answer my DMs this time. Cleared. Okay, you're good.
Okay. So,
jerk off to Troy Polamalu. Sorry, I didn't see that last one on the schedule. Jerk off Troy Polamalu daily off. You're good. Go ahead.
Fuck off. You do this with Sean Taylor, RIP. Anyways, to all the Browns fans out there, you guys had a cute little run, cute little thing where you beat us in a playoff. You have Ben Roethlisberger crying on the bench.
I'm so sorry. 1 second. News, ranting and rambling. Bitch sesh of the week.
Thank you.
Yes.
So that timer starts now.
Continue. Yes, continue.
You used that picture all off season. You used that picture when we were 1-3. You use that picture against me. You say, "Oh, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out." The Browns.
Yep.
Here comes Sunday. We play the Browns in Cleveland at Halloween.
Yep.
Baker. Oh, Baker's the savior. Oh, Nick Chubb is healthy. He's going to play. Myles Garrett. He should be the defensive player of the year. Blah, blah, blah. What did they forget? The big, bad boogeyman named Ben fucking Roethlisberger owns their shit for years and years to come. 26-3-1, Joe. Have you ever met...
For non-YouTube watchers, Joey is trying so hard not to interrupt right now. Continue.
What are you going to say? We beat them without a kicker. They killed our kicker. We beat them.
What was your pick last?
Kicker. Nothing. I didn't pick anything because that's
you've picked high for the millionth week in a row.
Huh?
I picked against the Washington football team, named to be determined later date, but probably not.
Fuck what you did. I'm a creature of habit. I'm a creature of habit. That's it. I'm a creature of habit. I didn't pick for the last 4 weeks. They've won 4 games. 3 games and the bye, whatever. So
you're sticking with the strategy, yes.
Listen, sticking with the strategy. No, They all want to talk about Juju. Oh, Claypool, they do TikToks. Ooh, they're ruining the locker room. Blah, blah, blah. When they have an actual
Is that what the general person sounds like?
They
Ew, da, da, da,
in
tick,
Cleveland,
tick.
it does, because all they do is bitch. All they do. We're
Okay.
run free in their head. They have a guy who's a cancer in the locker room, making fun of AB when he was a cancer in the locker room. We got rid of his ass as quick as we could. Yet, let's hold on to Odell Beckham. Let's see if Odell Beckham figures it out with Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield and the Browns are better without Odell. It's proven time and time again. But everybody wants to make this narrative. Everybody wants to make this narrative of, Odell is a great player. Odell will figure it out with Baker. Blah, blah, blah. No. Sometimes when you have a guy like Odell, it makes the whole offense worse. You know why? Because they're force-feeding him the ball when you have two guys who are way better than him in Landry and feeding Nick Chubb. Plus, you get Kareem Hunt in there. Kareem Hunt is a good back. Baker is right now playing with one good arm. The other arm is about to fall off. I don't understand why you're trying to push this man. I don't understand why you're trying to figure out the season right now. Bench him. Let him fix himself. There's always next year. Now, for the Steelers game,
let the man have surgery.
Let the man have fucking surgery. 15 to 10.
He clearly needs it.
He needs it more than anything. We lost our kicker. We beat the shit out of you in the sense of, I swear, Watt proved himself time and time again why he is in the conversation for Defensive Player of the Year, should win Defensive Player of the Year. And Myles Garrett is a great player, but TJ Watt
it's a thin list.
Better,
he's definitely on it, yeah.
It is. I mean, it's TJ Watt, AD, and Garrett. But TJ
is better
than...
I hate to say it's all, since you're not saying it, Trayvon Diggs obviously has to be in that conversation right now.
I mean, Trayvon Diggs, sorry. I forgot. I mean, like, we always give it to either the guy who leads the league in sacks or leads the league in interception. So this is more of a rant about Odell. Yeah. This is more of the rant of Odell.
Yes. Get back on track. Also, shout out Buda Baker having a great season.
Great season. They still own their shit. Cleveland Browns, you still are bitches. Congratulations on your one victory in the playoffs against the Steelers. That will never happen again. And I will put money on that. That will never happen again. If it happens again, I will suck my own dick. And number two, Odell Beckham.
It sounds like you can do that, hence meaning you've tried before.
No. I'm just saying it because I can't suck my own dick.
Sounds like you're pretty confident you can suck your own dick.
Catch-22. It's a catch-22.
And you've done it before.
Catch-22. I'm going to say I can do it, but I can't do it. So it never will happen because the Browns...
I also, there's no way you have the size in which you can do it to reach said dick. There's just no way you have that.
I don't give a fuck about the size. I mean, hey, listen.
If you're determined to suck your own dick, you're determined to suck your own dick. Good for you, buddy. I love the determination. I love the passion to suck your own cock. Speaking of sucking his own cock, Odell Beckham sucks. Odell has 100% sucked his own cock.
He is a cancer. Get him out of the locker room. Cut him. He doesn't want to be there. Let him go. This is ridiculous.
One of the most common bar you slub into a bar these days, Noud, after sucking your own dick and jerking off to Troy Polamalu. And you go in the bar for a quick couple of drinks, replenish yourself after all that hard work. And what is a typical bar conversation you're going to have with some random schlub just 2 seats down? Odell Beckham's not really that good. It's just that one catch he had that one time, and then he got all this notoriety and from it. And that's exactly correct. We've had this conversation. I've had this conversation with you. Name the number of bar patrons. It's endless. That's exactly what it is. It's very much Hunter Lipsky's theory with my boys and the defense. And they had a couple great games against some pretty shitty teams, some pretty shitty offenses. Yes, I'm not going to disregard the Bucs. I'm not going to do any of that. But for me, Odell's very much the same in the terms that my Washington football team named to be determined at a later date, but probably not defense is playing. Now, listen, we have been looking better defensively wise in the last couple of weeks, Noud. But I've told listeners of this show, and I'm just going to kind of stick with it. I'm so indifferent. I've never felt more indifferent towards this team in my whole entire life. They are probably just, Dan Snyder is probably doing the happy feet dance as fast and as often as he can with all the news coming into light this week that takes it finally off of him when it shouldn't be. And then this team is kind of playing like they are hiding behind yet another controversy. Listen, I love Ron Rivera to death. I've been saying on this show that I thought we should have never, in the first place, hired Fitzpatrick. I always thought Heineke was the guy. There is still part of me that wants to believe that, but there's also a part of you, Heineke, that has to adjust to what you see on the field. You're not adjusting to what you see on the field. I understand that, yes, we're starting to get our fair share of injuries ramping up and what have you, and that Gibson doesn't look 100%. McLaurin definitely doesn't look 100%. And, we've hopefully Logan Thomas coming back, but has not been in that lineup whatsoever, either due to injury. But with all that, Heineke needs to adjust to that, right? He needs to prepare for that, and I just haven't seen that. You're still throwing into double coverage. You're still, I get you have a pair of balls, but you're still making these decisions that are no longer justifiable. I mean, we talked briefly last week with the dive in where he wasn't even aware that his knee was fully down. That can't happen if you're going to be our franchise guy. I'm being tough. Some people may say I'm being tough on Taylor, but he's supposed to be your franchise guy, right? Noud, he's supposed to pop out. And that's what our hope is. That's why we gave him this 2-year prove-it deal. And it's as of now, he's not adjusted the way he needs to. And with everything else going on, I just so indifferent. I thought this was the one game we could win this week. I even had the Washington football team name to determine later. David probably not in a parlay. And I don't know if we'll win another game this season. I really don't. Maybe
I wouldn't say that.
I don't.
I think you guys have a lot. I think you guys have a lot. What? I think you guys could win 3 more games. I got at least. I got to look at the schedule. I'm saying this with blind.
I was waiting for the ball to drop there. I also wasn't sure if my internet was fucking up again or not. We are past the hour mark.
Wait, no, what?
Oh, well, just for the viewers that don't know, my Skype goes ahead and starts to get a little wonky past the hour mark, so I wasn't sure if it was my internet fucked up or not. That's why you got the face, Noud, but move right along. I'm
looking at the schedule because you saying you're not going to win another game. I feel like that's cap.
I looked at the schedule. Where's a winnable game?
Okay, hold on. Definitely not next week.
Yeah.
Panthers, you could beat. You can beat the Eagles. I mean, you can beat the Eagles and the Giants.
Like I said, that's our one winnable game.
Russell's
back. We're not beating the Hawks.
All right. Well, I'm saying you beat at least the Panthers. So Panthers are not good. Panthers.
Hey, I think this is gonna be our best week. Bye week. I don't have to worry about being disappointed by Gibson.
Bye
fantasy.
Weeks for a fan. People like to talk about bye weeks. Bye weeks are good. Anyways, moving right along. So our surprises, our disappointments, and games of the week. So I will start off with our surprise. I'm going to start off saying da-da-da-da-da. Sorry. We write these and then I forget. I should just write these down.
Your surprise is what I wanted, and my phone's not loading up here.
So got it.
Great anticipation.
Saints Bucks. So.
Of course, real quick, Noud. Week 8 review, surprises, disappointments, and games of the week.
So here's the deal. The Bucks go into New Orleans every time and do this shit. They always do. Always do. What surprises me the most, though, is how Tom Brady had a chance to win. And we know Tom Brady. Tom Brady loves these last-minute heroics. He wants to win the game. He does what he needs to do. And then he throws a pick at the end for a touchdown. I mean, it's just what happened last year. It's just exactly the reason why I'm surprised is how good the Saints still were without Jameis. Jameis tore his ACL, made a video after the game, dancing in the locker room with crutches. Man's a comedian. Please give him his own show.
A billion percent. Winston moment of the week. He has one every single week, and he deserves
he's one of the best.
Not bi-weekly show.
He's one of the best. And I think, and this is a hot take, if Taysom Hill is good enough when he comes back from his concussion, this team could be the 6th seed in the NFC because I think 5 positions are already taken care of. We talked about it. I think Cardinals, Rams, Cowboys, Bucks, Packers all still have the viable position now. I think it's like they're 90% or over, and the other 2 positions are up for grabs. I think the Saints have a great defense. I think the Saints have a great offense, even though Michael Thomas is out for the season. We were going to talk about it in the fantasy part, but he's now out for the season officially.
I was going to bring it up if you didn't.
But they still have Alvin Kamara. They got back Mark Ingram, who is a locker room guy. They have a bunch of great offensive lineman. Taysom Hill can still create stuff with his legs. I think that's why I'm surprised by this win more than anything, is because I felt that this is a playoff team that could overcome some things, and they don't have to play that hard of a schedule down the stretch. They play
Yeah.
Atlanta this week. They could beat them. They have the Panthers again. They could beat them. Like, their division is just the Bucks and them. So outside of all these teams that have a viable shot, if Taysom Hill plays well, don't be surprised if this team makes the playoffs. All I'm saying.
Hey, and you know what? No one this week is saying shout out Trevor Simeon, so let me go ahead and say that. Pulled the game together, went ahead, won the game for him. Say what you will about old Trev, but still can get it done when it needs to be done from time to time. Yeah, let's give a little clap, little face of the franchise shout out to Trevor Simeon. Great job this week. Yeah, I'm not totally inclined to disagree with you. As you know, I still think that the Saints should probably run that Wildcat with Alvin Kamara and call it a day, and they'll be undefeated. Every once in a while, you get Taysom in there to run the same style of Wildcat, and that's all you got to do, and you'll be undefeated. But no, no one wants to listen to me or hire me for some reason to go ahead and run the Saints. I guess Sean Payton's doing an okay job as is.
They're doing. I'm pretty sure they're good, man.
I'll tell you this. It's incredibly fascinating to me where this is the Saints are almost, especially with Drew Brees gone now, and not even trying to take a shot at anybody from last week. I just 100% believe this, and I think you will too, are almost becoming the Titans of the NFC. The Saints are, because it's like 1 week, and I understand
you and the Titans. You and the fucking Titans.
Well, no, because 1 week the Titans look fantastic. They look like the team to beat some weeks. And then the next week they look like, I mean, they finally had a decent, sustainable back-to-back weeks there. But then they look like the team that is truly like just lost and doesn't look good at all. And that's what the Saints are for me. And that's why I'm iffy on the Saints. They're definitely that version in the NFC for me. I mean, they had that weird loss against the Panthers. They lost to the Giants in overtime. Then they beat us, which is the one bad team they beat. They barely beat the Hawks. I just with me, it's hard to trust the Saints. So you have the blowout against the Packers week 1. So their wins to me are wonky as it is, and then their losses are to teams they should have beat, in the Patriots and in the Giants and in the Panthers. So well, they didn't lose. Excuse me, they didn't lose the Patriots, but it was a close game. But yeah, no, in the Panthers and the Giants. So I have trouble fully trusting them going forward. Great game, love what I saw. Shout out to Trevor Simeon, but I'm iffy on them still, dude.
No, it makes sense. I mean, but we'll see what happens. I think it's more Taysom Hill, what he can do. Last year he did enough to keep him afloat, so we'll see. But what's your surprise this week?
My surprise, and you know what, you can take it to what you will. I am pleasantly surprised with the New England Patriots. I know there's one guy, he's probably canceled anyway, that's gone on about this and said the Patriots are back and that Mac Jones is it. Well, I'm going to second that and probably become my take now, since this guy's likely getting canceled. And I'll go ahead and take over. I mean, Mac Jones is honestly legit. We've said that for the last couple of weeks on this show. We said that even before some other shows started saying it. Mac Jones is legit. He is the best rookie QB going right now. There's, besides Zach Wilson, of course, he's still doing great. Don't care what you say. But no, this has been absolutely outstanding to watch. He does look like very much, and I know it's the easy cliche comparison right now, does look like a young Tom Brady. I know I sound like your typical ESPN analyst, but let's also, I think it's something a lot of people are sleeping on, is that Patriots defense is looking tried and true as they always do. And they're a top 5 defense right now, in my opinion, in the league. They are legitimately scary. And did we get ahead of ourselves with the Chargers? I don't know. Was this a reflective of, kind of falling into the bye week and having either the bye week you come back and smash, or the bye week you just look flat and soft? And that's definitely what the Chargers look like again here. Prior to the bye week, as we all know, only had 10 points total on offense. This is not looking like the team we fell in love with and everybody's favorite pick to win the Super Bowl, Noud. They are looking like a completely different team, but credit's due where credit's due with the Patriots as well.
I think that's it. I think it's the Patriots more than the Chargers. I think the Patriots are a little bit better than what people are giving them credit for. I think Jones is a little bit better of a quarterback than people are giving him credit for. And I think also now we can definitely go into the narrative of Bill Belichick has Herbert's number. Kind of like how he had Peyton's number for a while. I think that is exactly where we are in this situation. I don't see it being any
45-0 last year with Cam Newton.
Like, yeah, I mean, Herbert needs to find a way to get over this hump, and credit to Bill, he does this to every quarterback he faces. So, Patriots could be a team that sneaks in because everybody's crunched in that AFC. Like I said, no clear-cut good team right now, so we'll see. But just moving right along to my
one last thing I want to add to that as well, Noud. Just a quick correction. I said only 17 points. They did have 24. I forgot about that garbage time touchdown the Chargers had. Just quick correction for OCD Joe there.
No worries. But my disappointment of the week comes at the hands of the team that I finally thought would take the next step. They had a great win against a division rival at their house. They killed them. Like, they actually murdered them. Like, I thought the Ravens were dead. I thought they were going to be the Kings. It's the Bengals versus the Jets. Now, disappointment on the Bengals side. You had all this momentum. You had you had beaten the Ravens. The Ravens are on a bye week. You can move up a little bit more. You can win a game. It's a winnable game. It's the Jets. And the Steelers and the Browns play each other. So
not when Mike White's playing, baby. Davis Mills, week 8.
One of those teams are going to be 2 games behind you. So you will have kind of a separation between the last place team and you. So you can be in that situation. Yet you let this guy named Mike White come in for 400 plus yards, 3 touchdowns. Defense was amazingly doing enough to win you the game, even though at the end there they let like Jamar Chase come, Tyler Boyd, Joe Mixon.
Jets underrated defense.
I mean, the Jets didn't stop the Bengals as much as the Bengals defense didn't stop the Jets. The Jets were scoring.
I told you last week, statistic-wise, Jets are a top 5, and I did have Jets last week, and you laughed at me for defense. Jets are a top 5.
But didn't they get negative this year in week in fantasy, or did they get like 5 points? Like, it wasn't like killer. Like, it wasn't like
no, it wasn't.
It wasn't like the Eagles defense that got 22. But,
no, by no means. But this Jets defense is legitimately good. That secondary is ranked 5th in the league. I just looked it up. They're 5th in the league. They are pretty solid overall. I think a lot of people need to stop just going, "Oh, it's the Jets."
I think they need to stop doing that with the offense. I think the offense is pretty good. I think Michael Carter is a pretty good running back. I think Crowder, to his credit, is always a PPR machine.
Yeah, Mike White, the new Zach Wilson of the league.
Like, if Mike White wins tonight, I mean, we're recording this right now at 2:00 on Thursday. If Mike White wins tonight, I mean, like, how do you go back to Zach Wilson? Like, I'm not.
Are you on Mountain Time, by the way? It's 3:00.
I mean, we started recording at 2, but we're an hour in. So, point is, like, if Mike White wins tonight, like, how can you not do? I mean, how can you not like let him play out and see how it works? And for the Bengals side,
he looked great. All bits aside, he looked fantastic.
The Bengals need to crush the Browns this week, not because of the Steelers and the seedings and stuff like that. If anything, I want the Browns to beat the Bengals, but for the Bengals to solidify themselves as an actual like team to be reckoned with, they need to do what they need to do and crush them. Like, they need to show them. And that's the disappointment to me is Bengals could have taken the next step. They didn't. So there you go.
Yeah, agreed. I think that was definitely a missed opportunity. I mean, I'm not concerned about the Bengals. I think they're still a playoff team. I truly do. Sorry, buddy. I think there's 2, like I said last week, I think there's 2 playoff teams. There's clear 2 teams for me, and that's the Ravens and the Bengals. Not even trying to jab at you in the AFC North. I'm not concerned about the Bengals with this game. They didn't look great. They looked fantastic. But again, I think a big part of that was more so. And I know there were instances where they definitely shot themselves in the foot. But you got to give credit to that Jets defense, and obviously you got to give credit to Mike White for playing. I think it's just a great week for the Jets.
Exactly, and then you just move on from there. But what about you, dog?
If we lose back-to-back for the Bengals, for your Bengals, that's a concern. For your Cincinnati Bengals. My disappointment, of course, this week, Vikings and Cowboys. I mean, how the fuck do you lose to Cooper Rush? Next game.
Okay, so my game of the week is kind of crazy, but proves our point with Matt Nagy being an idiot. So Matt Nagy got COVID. He's not coaching.
I forgot you were
So,
doing this game.
yeah. So 49ers Bears. It actually was a pretty decent offensive game. You had 22. It was 33-22,
Yeah.
which was a crazy score for the 49ers and the Bears. Really, the reason why he made it the game of the week, even though Matt Nagy's an idiot.
By the way, gave you all the over. You went under last week. Anyway, continue.
Yeah, I mean, shit. I didn't think Justin Fields would look like fucking Michael Vick out there, but he did. He fucking looked like Michael Vick. And then Jimmy Garoppolo doing all he was doing, looking like he was a fucking second coming of what the Patriots thought he was going to be, throwing it to Debo, making some plays with his legs. Elijah Mitchell. Guy is a certified stud. Whatever they thought they had in Trey Sermon, Elijah Mitchell has. And Elijah Mitchell is going to be the running back of the future for the 49ers. Debo Sanders, if Cooper Kupp is who we're crowning as the best right now, he is second without a doubt with what he does with the football, what he does playmaking wise.
Yeah, it's a no-brainer.
What people don't understand is when he is healthy, and that's the thing. When he is healthy, he is a playmaking machine. No matter who's
that more explosive. Hot take, classic Joe hot take coming in at you, dude. He may be more explosive, especially right now. Definitely right now. I don't know about the full history than Tyreek Hill. He may be more explosive, especially right now, than Tyreek Hill.
I will say he's more complete.
Come for the pitchforks. Come where what you will. Throw the darts. I can take it, baby. Like I said, I'm thick.
I think complete is a better word, but I think what we saw in the 49ers is a team that won't quit. I think they are another team that wouldn't be surprising me if they made it to the playoffs and could steal. I mean, they could steal some wins against the Rams and the Cardinals to make them go down a couple pegs too. I mean, the 49ers defense is still the 49ers defense. The Bears looked pretty good. I mean, Robinson and Moody. Jesus, if you have those two on your fantasy teams, just drop them. I can't handle them anymore. But Justin Fields looked good with his legs.
If you haven't already, it's time to look in the mirror and really have a long, hard talk with yourself if you should even be playing fantasy. But yes.
So there you go. That was the game of the week. I was insanely surprised by the two quarterbacks. Matt Nagy should never coach a game again.
Yeah, I don't. As we always say, I don't understand how he still has a job. I guess they just look at Adam Gase and say it could be worse. I think that's literally how Matt Nagy gets a job week in and week out. They're like, again, it's not the worst coaching situation of all time. Look at Justin Fields is doing okay. We're in games. Listen, I agree with you. I think that was definitely the most explosive, the surprisingly most exciting game to watch of the week for two teams that I really don't think are going to end up doing too much. I do believe, though, I will say I'm not just going to throw the 49ers completely under the bus because I do believe in the power of Shanahan, and I definitely do believe when George Kittle comes back, that is a scary, scary offense. If Kittle can be fully what he can be. But for the most part, it's one of the most exciting games of the year for two teams that won't be in the playoffs.
Exactly. So what about you? What's your most exciting game of the week?
My most exciting game of the week, Noud, was, without a doubt, in my whole entire mind, was, of course, Cardinals and Packers. We can say what you will about it. It was just a good defensive battle. I really, which I did not expect it to be. I think everyone and their mother and their grandmother and your grandmother's mother went ahead and took the over. That went ahead and bit you in the ass nice and hard. That was not an over game. I think you saw a big factor of what the Cardinals defense is capable of, but you're also a true indicator sign of how much trouble the Packers really are in, depending on how this whole Aaron Rodgers situation plays out. Especially next week, it looks like the Chiefs are going to look like they're back. Everybody slow your roll. The Chiefs are not going to be back, but they're certainly going to look like it next week. I'll be interested to see what Jordan Love's can do. But this game was just a good, entertaining game to watch. I truly just appreciated seeing defenses show off a little bit against two, arguably the most explosive offenses, definitely in the NFC right now, maybe the whole entire league. I think it's pretty damn close, except for the Rams, for teams that aren't named Los Angeles Rams. Great game to watch, Noud. Were you jerking off to Troy during this one? Did you enjoy this one? What was your favorite part of this game?
I mean, the favorite part of this game was AJ Green completely whiffing. I think it was one of the funniest things I watched in the sense of, dude, you could not, I know I mean, Kyler was being a good teammate, but at the same time, even when you're blocking, you should still look for the ball a little bit just to see where it is. But and then Aaron Rodgers had the greatest meme of all time, his helmet being like halfway off, him looking to see if there was a touchdown. I mean, it was a memeable game. It was a good game, but those were the two highlights. So
Yeah, baby, yeah, that's it. That is our week 8 surprise disappointments and game of the weeks. Moving
before
on.
we get into the fantasy corner,
Yeah.
three of the biggest news. Devontae Adams is back off COVID, so you're good with that. He just got put on the active roster again. The biggest, obviously, to the best fantasy football player you could have, Derrick Henry, out for the season. So we'll
Number
talk
one
about
running
that.
back is done. Yep.
Yep. And then you have Christian McCaffrey and David Montgomery both activated. Oh, and Kittle. All three activated from IR. So if you have them, be watching to see if they are going to play this week. Doesn't mean they're going to play this week when they're activated. It just means they have a window to practice. As well as we talked about Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is out for at least a week. So we'll tell you who to pick up. So I'll just get right into it.
And once again, I know we said it once already in the show. If you stash Michael Thomas, you haven't already seen it, drop Michael Thomas.
Drop Michael Thomas, yes. So with that being said, I will tell you my quarterback pickup is Taysom Hill this week. We talked about Jameis Winston being hurt. He's out for the season. I am.
Are you running through? Then I'll run through.
Okay. Yep. So why I picked Taysom Hill? He played those 4 games, had 20 or more points because of his legs. So if he clears concussion protocol, start Taysom Hill. If he started,
just say, real quick. I know we were having a long show here. But, can you give me percentages of, I do all this research for you. I send you the percentages. I know I don't have to. I know. This is what
you want me to say?
Maybe a little fun reason. I can get in. I can riff with you about the reason.
I told you the reasons. I tell you the reasons.
I just like to see a little research, a little effort, buddy.
I did. I just said
we're coming up on 100 shows. We've been doing this show for almost 2 years.
He's had the goal line work when Miles Sanders is
this
out.
Is why
you watch the Detroit game. Boston Scott had 3 touchdowns around the goal line, so he's a touchdown-dependent flex. I would start him if you need him. Wide receiver. Now, Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill are getting double covered now. A guy who's starting to show his worth now, Mecole Hardman. Mecole Hardman is out there. He is a desperation flex play for me, well as tight end. Robert Sweeney for the Buffalo Bills. We talked about Dawson Knox being out there. Sweeney.
Who's your tight end pickup last week, by the way?
Sweeney. Sweeney again. Defense. I'm picking the Las Vegas Raiders. They're off a bye week. They're playing the Dolphins. Tua is a turnover machine, even though Tua might be a good streamer this week. He is the new Jameis Winston. He'll throw for 4 touchdowns, but we'll throw 4 picks in the same area. So I pick.
Only place to do is in that cocaine city of Miami. If you're going to do it, that's where you do it.
Deshaun Watsonville.
I like it. If you want to listen percentage-wise, because I can promise you majority of those guys you just mentioned are no longer available. Not cutting you down at all, not diminishing your picks that you just gave us, but just saying. With all that being said, not at all insulting either, not a jab at all. But with that being said, obviously we talked about it already earlier in the show. Mac Jones is looking legit. I understand not a best in fantasy numbers. I think that's going to go ahead and start to change as well. Especially, it's more of a desperation play this week with a lot of quarterbacks out. Good streaming option, especially if you have Aaron Rodgers. If you have Aaron Rodgers, though, you'd probably rather go with Jordan Love, and I don't think that's a terrible bet. There are some other options, but I think it's somebody, especially if you're in a deeper league, you can go out and get. And obviously, I have quarterbacks galore. Mike White, like I said, was the week 8. Davis Mills from week 3. I like Mike White. I think he actually has more of a legit chance to be a franchise quarterback in the long run, or at least a sustainable quarterback in your fantasy lineup for the time being than Davis Mills did. So forget that I gave you Davis Mills right after that game, and let's go Mike White. Running back wise, this was pretty obvious, very anti-Joe this week, but I think you kind of got to go with one of these two just because of the volume they will get and how much that running game is part of the Titans offense. So you got to go Adrian Peterson. Don't let the age scare you. He is the ageless wonder. He's probably the most conditioned athlete of all time in the history of ever, except for probably Tom Brady. And then your other option, if he's not available, is McNichols. There's kind of a lot of back and forth. It looks like McNichols is going to get the majority of touches, I will say, but I also would argue strongly that if you just need a touchdown, Adrian Peterson has a good bet at getting you that this week. And then if not, why not run an oldie but a goodie? One more chance. That's all you got. Sweater on Mom Spaghetti already. Let's go ahead and let's get Jordan Howard one more time. Let's run it back. 6.7% owned in the league. Listen, Miles Sanders is not coming back, and there's a very clear split. Boston Scott, as Noud mentioned, is likely probably gone with all due respect to Noud's picks. So I think Jordan Howard, again, is kind of my AP mindset if he's going to get those goal line touches. Next up, Cedric Wilson. Again, not a pick I love either, but also a good desperation play. If I think he's getting targeted more and more each week in the red zone. He is a guy that clearly both quarterbacks like in the red zone. Not a guy that gets talked about enough. Cedric Wilson, only 0.9% owned. Then you have in tight ends, of course, if you haven't already picked up Sweeney for the last 2 weeks, and I'll throw who I'll throw who I threw at you again last week as well, just for shits and gigs. That is Pat Vermouth. I'm going to call him Vermouth because who doesn't love a good Vermouth? You ever just face a bottle of Vermouth by yourself and call it an evening and saying, damn, things just really aren't going that great. Go get yourself some Pat Vermouth right now. Get your bottle of Vermouth. If he's already gone, then Mo Alley Cox. That was another one I had early in the week too. It's a touchdown dependent guy, but definitely a good play before he goes tonight if you need that quick play.
There you go.
Then we have
corner.
then finally, but not least, I have my defense, which is the Finns. It's just playing the Texans. You can either go Texans playing Finns playing Texans. I think that is going to be a miserably low-scoring game. And then Saints, although we're available in our league, Noud, only available in 75% of leagues. But if you could get them, that is a legitimate defense.
Mm-hmm. I would say so. Now, go ahead.
All right. You said, Noud, gambling corner. Let's get right into it because, as we already said, this has been a long show. So I'm just going to dive in, baby, and we're going to crush it. We are going to go ahead and continue to pay off mortgages, continue to pay off car payments, start families, some would say, all because of us. We here are life givers, building your life. Noud, first game up. New York Jets going to see the Indianapolis Colts Thursday night. You may be listening to this after we already made the pick. It has gone from 10.5 to now plus 10. The Jets are over under 45. Noud, who you like, who you love.
Give me the Jets to cover and the under.
Jets to cover and under. I've been going back and forth. I'm going to go ahead. We'll start off with Noud and Joe on the same page. We're normally going to do that. We'll start with Noud and Joe on the same page to get us started today, and then we'll move to the 1 o'clocks. We have the Houston Texans going to see the Miami Dolphins. The over-under here is currently 42.5. I think it could even be lower. And then we have a -2. The Dolphins are. Noud, who you like, who you love.
The Dolphins are favored?
The Dolphins are favored.
Oh, give me the fucking Raiders for sure. And then the over.
Texans versus the Dolphins? I said Houston Texans. You got 2 ears. You got to use them both, baby.
Oh, fuck. I'm tripping.
It's all right. He's multitasking right now. He is also working.
Give me the Dolphins. Give me the under. Give me the Dolphins. Give me the under.
Well, if the Raiders were playing in this game, I'd take them against either of these two teams. But since they're not, Texans are going to go ahead, and they are getting their second win of the season. So give me straight up money line and my dumpster fire who gives a shit dog pick of the week, and then go ahead and give me the over. That's right, Noud. I said give me the over. You know I always, when it's that low, I got to take it. Next up, we have, now listen very closely. Denver Broncos versus the Dallas Cowboys. Cowboys are -10 at home. Over under is 49.5. Yes, 10. Already some interesting spreads this week. The board is looking a little iffy, making it uncomfortable. -10, over under is 49.5. Noud, I got obviously another dog of the week. I have Broncos money line, and I have in a surprising, shocking game in under.
I'm gonna go over and give me them to cover Broncos. Like, they had 10. Just because they lost Von Miller? Give me a break.
A lot of points, and Vegas is reacting strongly and harshly week by week. It doesn't really seem they seem to be making these lines by a very week by week basis and not as a consensus in a whole, and that's what you get. Next up, we have the Minnesota Vikings versus the Baltimore Ravens. Baltimore Ravens are at home. -6 they are. Over under is 50. Nude, who you like, who you love.
We're going to have to pick the Ravens, aren't I? All right, Ravens and the under.
I am going to go ahead and go Ravens in the over. Ravens in the over. I understand last week was the easiest over game with the Cowboys and Vikings, and we all know how that turned out. Obviously, Cooper Rush was throwing the ball as well, had a big impact, and Kirk had just had one of those.
It's just Kirk sucks.
Games.
Kirk sucks.
But also Kirk can be the regular season king, and that's why I'm going to go ahead and go over on this game, but I am going to take Ravens -6. Next up, the very on fire, apparently the best quarterback in the league next to Mike White, that is Mac Jones, of course, is going in to Carolina to see the Carolina Panthers. The New England Patriots are. The Panthers are +3.5 at home. Over under is 41. Nude, you know what I'm going to ask? Who you like? Who you love?
This is a sneaky shootout, so I'll take it over, but I'm going to take the Patriots to cover.
Sneaky shootout and the over. Patriots covering. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go Patriots. I'm gonna go under for a very rare under for Joe here. I'm gonna have to go under, and we still only have one Nude and Joe on the same page. Next up, Buffalo Bills. I think it's about to change with this one. Buffalo Bills going to see the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jaguars are at home +14.
Why, you're gonna pick the Jaguars? Because the Bills are gonna take it.
Over under is 48.5. I said this is the one we're gonna be on the same page. I'll go ahead and say mine. Oh, yep, and Nude, second Nude and Joe on the same page. Bills cover and over. You're saying over, right?
Yeah, I'm saying over.
Okay. Second Nude and Joe on the same page. Next up, the Cleveland Browns going to see the Cincinnati Bengals. I don't know what's going to happen. Is Big playing? Is he not? How's this going to go? Bengals are -2.5, despite what happened last week with the Jets. Over under is 47. Nude, who you like, who you love?
I'm going to take the under. And I'm going to take Bengals to cover.
Third, Nude and Joe on the same page, and it's going to be right along, although I fucking hate it. Next up, Las Vegas Raiders versus the New York Giants. The Raiders, again, are playing the New York Giants, not the Miami Dolphins. The +3 the New York Giants are, and they are at home. Over under is 46.5. Nude, who you like, who you love?
The over.
The over. Okay. I lost you there for a second. You had the over, and then
who to cover?
That's why I lost you there for a second. You're torn here.
I'm torn. What? I'm going to pick the underdog. Underdog to cover, baby. Let's do it.
Underdog to cover in the under. I'm going to go ahead, and I am going over and Raiders -3. I have no choice in the matter. Next up, although, yeah, I like it. Next up, we have the Falcons versus the Saints, -6.5. The Saints are at home. Over under is 42. Nude. Who do you like? Who do you love?
Well, if I'm picking Taysom Hill for most of my things, then give me Taysom Hill. And then give me the under.
I'm going to go ahead and I'm going Falcons +6 in the over. Falcons +6 in the over. I got a good feeling here. I got a really good feeling there. Next up, we have, and just a fun trend for you, more so than ever, every single week in the NFL, except for, I think, maybe 4 or 5 teams. I have to look up the exact stat. When they have covered the spread, they went ahead and then did not cover the spread the following week. It is the most back-and-forth week in the NFL. I believe that's why the Falcons will go ahead and cover that +6, and the Saints will not cover this week with the over. Los Angeles, a.k.a. San Diego Chargers, are coming to Philly, where it is always sunny, and to see the Eagles. The Eagles are dogs here, +2. Over under is 49.5. Looks like the Chargers are starting to get not very valued. That's why I'm taking the Chargers here, Nude, at -2, and I'm going to take the over.
Yep. Book it.
Third Nude and Joe on the same, or fourth Nude and Joe on the same page. Moving right along to what might have been the game of the week, but now it just kind of feels like this is going to almost feel like awkward football. There's going to be something that feels a little off with this game. Green Bay Packers are going to Kansas City to see the Chiefs. The Chiefs are -7, where if Aaron was playing, we certainly know that would be different. Over under is 47.5. Noud, who you like, who you love?
You really think the Falcons are playing different?
I'm sorry?
Wait, say that again. Who you think is playing different? You cut out.
Oh, I was saying the line would be different with the Packers because we're talking Packers and Chiefs.
No, I thought you said Falcons. I was like, what?
Sorry. We already went over the Falcons. It's all right. It's all right. The internet getting a little wonky here. Again, you're multitasking. You're also working right now. Packers Chiefs.
I'm gonna do over in Kansas City. Fuck it. Whatever.
Chalky, because it's so chalky, I gotta go under 47.5, and Packers cover the +7, and I hate it. Next up, Cardinals versus it's just been the smart bet all year. I've talked about spreads before, and one team will cover it next week and then not cover the week after. There's very few teams that are doing that. The Chiefs are going great at not covering it all this year. I've not covered once this year. Next up, we have the Arizona Cardinals going to see the San Francisco 49ers. Noud, I currently have a line that says offline here. I love you. I'm refreshing, but if you can pull up quicker, baby, let's go ahead and get it.
I got it. Give me
what you got. What you got?
Cardinals.
I might have it quicker.
Cardinals -1, over under 46.
Cardinals -1, over under 46. You want to hit me with it?
So I'm going to do Cardinals and the over, bearing question mark Kyler Murray playing, because Kyler Murray might not play, and that's why it's -1.
I was hoping that you would go. Oh, gotcha. I was hoping you would go ahead and hit me with Joe, who you like, who you love, but that's okay. You did not. I do like that pick. However, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to go with the Cardinals, and I'm going to go. What was over under again?
What
was over under again?
46, give it to me. 46.
I'm going to take the over as well, just because I'm going to go ahead and assume. How certain are we with Kyler's status right now?
It's murky. It's murky. Let's just say that. I'd say it's a game time decision. It's going to be a Dak situation where he's going to practice and then they're going to figure it out.
Oh, well, I still think regardless, Cardinals go ahead and pull it off back, Kyler or no Kyler, and let's go ahead and give me the under.
All right.
And the final two games of Week 9 is going to be the Tennessee Titans going to see the Los Angeles Rams. Rams are -7.5 at home. Over-under is 53.5. Kareem, I'm going Titans +7.5, despite no Derrick Henry, and I am going over here all day.
I'm going to go Rams in the over. You can't Derrick Henry, Jesus.
I thought you were Kareem's friend, but apparently you're not a loyal friend or a good guy.
He's going to ride the Rams. He's going to ride. It's a prove it shit. It's because I would have done the same thing if Najee goes out like that. Yeah, I'm doing the same fucking thing.
Michael Farashanuti, not loyal to his football team, not loyal to his friends. Who is he really? Nobody really knows since he's not loyal. You can't trust him.
Under in the next game and not picking.
We do this every week. So
I'm
tie
not
again.
Doing this again. Wait,
I picked.
Yes.
I picked.
I don't
give a fuck
what you picked. I don't give a fuck what you pick. You can pick this game, and I'm not picking who's winning.
Fuck
you.
I'm not moving on. Pick it.
All right. Sorry. All right. That's the show, everyone. Face of the franchise.
Steelers.
Thank you for listening.
Can I make my pick?
I thought you said you didn't want to move on. So
I know. Well, don't move us on, because let me make my pick, and that's going to go ahead, and the over here is 40. I'm going to take that over.
Nope.
Bears +6.5.
Good for you. All right. And now, face of franchise listeners, this is a great show. I know it was a jam-packed show. We have a lot to talk about, but we like to thank our sponsors. This episode was brought to you by Smooth My Balls. Smooth My Balls. Get your balls equipment online at their website. Follow them on IG. Use promo code 4CR20.
Don't let your balls hibernate for the winner.
Use 4CR20 on your next purchase to get money off. That is the number 4, CR the number 20, to get money off your next purchase. Also, we like to thank Eyesight Mobile Eyewear Company, the eyewear company that comes to you for all your eyesight needs. That is Eyesight with an I. Follow them on IG, Twitter, and Facebook, as well as their website, eyesight.com. Also, Stuck Up Clothing, finest fashion money can buy. Go on
Nailed
their
it.
website. Go on their website as well as IG to see their new releases, new merch coming out soon for the summertime, for the wintertime. Get your new hoodies ASAP. And Seductions by Jax. She does everything from nails to hair to everything. I know it's prom season. I know it's homecoming season. I know it's just wedding season still happening. Follow her on
You realize
IG,
homecoming and prom are different seasons, right?
it's people think about it. I thought I saw a prom thing.
Start getting ready for prom 6 months ahead of time before spring gets here. Be ready.
You know how these.
Honestly, the way she's booked up,
honest,
you may have to.
You may have to start
planning for prom now.
That's what I'm trying to say. See, genius. IG, follow IG, book through her IG.
Seems a bit far.
She is the best, 100%. She does Joey's hair. JK, that's
she does not. Don't put that out there. Come on, don't ruin her brand. Come on.
Would be a lot better. But thank you for listening. This is Face of the Franchise. Stay breezy, stay easy. One love.
Ben Roethlisberger should still be arrested.
You're a bitch. Why do you always do this?